Welcome to my Balloon Twisting for Beginners series, where I teach you how to twist balloons like a pro. In this lesson, I'm going to show you different ways to make a balloon dog. And we're going to start with the simplest design first. For our balloon dog, we're going to be using a 260, so I recommend you get a good quality brand of balloon. I use Qualitex and Sempertex, and I recommend you get a mixed bag of colours. At this stage, avoid pearl finishes, anything that says it's got a pearl finish, pearl assortment. Avoid that, and also avoid the metallic finishes at the moment, because the different colours and finishes of balloons do behave differently. So at this stage, I recommend you get a mixed bag of basic colours. And you're going to need a good quality hand pump. This is the one I like to use, it's the Qualitex hand pump. And we're going to inflate our 260 with 6 strokes of the hand pump. And this is how I count. So 1 stroke, 2 strokes, 3 strokes, 4 strokes. So that's how I count the strokes of the hand pump, okay? So put your 260 on top of the hand pump, and then we inflate. So we'll count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, okay? And we're going to let out a little bit of air. We're going to soften that balloon because it's tight here, it's under tension. So I'm just going to let out a little bit of air. We're going to burp that balloon. I can feel it's softened a little bit. So as in lesson 1, we trap the balloon between our fingers, we bring it over the top of our fingers, we pass that nozzle between our fingers and we just pull it through. So you'll notice that the balloon is not fully inflated. We've got about a 3-inch tail here. So if I put my hand up, for me, that's about a 5-finger tail, okay? So measure your fingers against this tail and see how many fingers that is for you. But for me, that's a 5-finger tail. But you may have bigger hands than me, you may have smaller hands. Okay, so we start at the knot end and fold your balloon into a loop, okay? Put your hands next to one another and twist in opposite directions, okay? So you've got a dog's nose and you've got a dog's ears, okay? Take your balloon and we want to leave a little space here of about 2 fingers. But at this point here, we want to twist and make a loop. So that's what you've got, okay? So we've got the nose, the ears, the neck, and the dog's legs, front legs, okay? And we want to make a body here, but we also want to make some back legs. So we want a loop that is approximately the same length as this one. So measure that, it's about a hand, and then twist here. Okay, and there you have a balloon dog. So this is the easiest way to make a balloon dog. Your tail may be slightly different to this one. Yours may be fully inflated. You may have a slightly longer tip here, a little bit here that's not inflated. That really doesn't matter. So that's your first balloon dog. So practice this until you're confident making a balloon dog this way. What I like about balloon art is there are so many different ways to do things. So I'm now going to show you a different way to make a balloon dog. So I'm using a blue 260 and I'm going to inflate it with 5 strokes of the Qualitex hand pump. And when you're using your hand pump, it's really important to ensure that the pump is down, is properly down and in that position. Because if you start up here, you're not going to get a full stroke of the hand pump. You know, if you start here with it's fully extended, or you think it's fully extended, it could actually be a little way down and you don't realise. So I always start with the pump in the downward position and I make sure it's properly down. So we're inflating with 5 strokes of the hand pump, and there's something I'm going to show you as I inflate. So let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And at this point, I remove my pump straight away usually, but I'm hanging on to it quite deliberately to show you that this balloon is going down. And that's because I've left it on my pump. And so if you don't take the hand pump off, the balloon off the hand pump straight away, you will lose air through the pump and it will come out through the end of the pump, okay? So when you're inflating, it's important that you do however many strokes you want to do, and then straight away you take your balloon off the hand pump. Otherwise, your balloon won't be inflated as much as you think it is, okay? So we'll do that again. So this time we're going to do it properly. So we're going to inflate 5 strokes of the hand pump, and then as soon as we finish that last stroke, we remove the balloon from the end of the pump. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Take your balloon off and trap that nozzle. You see, I've got into that habit, I always return the hand pump to that starter position, okay? And again, we're going to soften, okay? And I'm going to tie the balloon. If you need practice tying, I've shown you earlier in the video how to tie in lesson 1. So I'm expecting you to be getting used to tying now, okay? And we've got a nice long tail, an uninflated section here. We call that the tail of the balloon. Okay, so I reckon I've got a tail of about 4 inches or so, so probably about 7 fingers for me. Okay, and with this balloon dog, we're going to make a series of what we call cylinder twists, or I tend to say I'm going to twist off a bubble, but balloon artists call the bubbles different things. So cylinder twists, sausage twists, whatever you want to call them. Okay, so I'm going to use my hand and fingers to measure a bubble of about 5 fingers, and then I'm going to make a twist at approximately that point. It doesn't have to be exact, but at approximately that point here, I'm going to start to squeeze the balloon and then twist with this. Okay, I'm going to put several twists into this bubble. Okay, and then I hold on to this. If you let go of this bubble, it will come undone. Okay, and you will have to reinstate it. So hold on to this whilst you start to make bubbles in the next part of the balloon. And I want to make a bubble that is a similar sort of size to this one. So the easiest way to do that is to fold the balloon over and to make your twist here. Okay? So we've got 2 bubbles or 2 cylinders. Okay? And I want to make a 3rd bubble that's the same size as this one. So fold your balloon over and then make a twist here. Okay, so you've got 3 bubbles, and it's really important that you keep hold of this first bubble here, because if you let it go, it will all unravel. Okay, so bring the balloons together, hold on here, and get hold of these 2 and just twist them together. Okay, and put in lots of twists. Okay, now you can let go of that one, because we've locked this one in place by making lots of twists. This first bubble now can't come undone. Okay, so that's what you've got. Next, I want to twist a little neck for my dog. So I only want a little bubble of about 2 fingers. So I measure that approximately. I start to squeeze my balloon together and I twist. Okay? Okay, so there we have our dog's nose, ears, and a small neck. Again, keep hold of this bubble, because we haven't locked anything into this section here, so it could come undone if you let go. And we want to make a bubble of about 5 fingers, so same sort of size to this first one. So very approximately, twist off the bubble here. And we're keeping hold of this little bubble here at the neck. A few more twists in. And then make another bubble to match this one. So again, we're twisting. Okay, so we've got little bubble and two bubbles that are approximately the same size. And then we can fold this in half. Take hold of your balloon there and then twist, 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 twist. Okay? And now we can let go of that neck because that is all locked in position. Okay? So we want to make a little body. I'm going to go for a bubble of about 5 fingers. So again, start to squeeze your balloon and twist. Okay? Twist, 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 twist. Okay? And then I want to make another bubble that is about the same size as this one. So again, measure approximately and start to twist. Okay, twist, twist, twist. Okay, so make sure you're still holding on to this bubble here. If you let go, this section here will come undone. Okay? And we want to make another bubble of about 5 fingers. So again, twist. So we've got 3 bubbles. Bring the balloons together, get hold of this section and twist them around. Okay? And there you've got a balloon dog. Okay. Now there are different things that we can do with the tail. You may find that your tail is fully inflated, and if it is, that's great. You've made a balloon dog and you don't need to do anything extra. You may want to leave your dog like this with its tail and then this little uninflated section at the end. These are your choices to make, so it's important to understand that this is an art form, and just because someone else's balloon dog looks a particular way, it doesn't mean yours has to if you don't want it to. So you can make these design choices yourself right from the very beginning with your earliest models and sculptures. So you decide how you want the tail to look. But there is a little technique that I want to show you, and it's called making a poodle tail. And when I first started, I found these poodle tails very difficult to make. Sometimes it worked for me, sometimes it didn't. And that's because I realised that some of the other tutorials that I was watching were missing out a step. So I take hold of the uninflated bit here, I pinch it together, and then I just take the tip and I snap out the end a few times. And what I'm doing, I'm just stretching the latex out there at the end of the balloon. So these balloons are made from natural latex rubber. Over time, if these balloons were in the ground, they would biodegrade and break down. So they do biodegrade when in the earth. So this is a natural product. They're not made from plastic. This brand of balloons, they are 100% natural latex rubber. So the next thing I do to make the poodle tail is I just twist off a little bubble here. And it doesn't really matter how large or small that is, but that's maybe 3 fingers or so. And then I hold on to this bubble, so I'm maintaining that twist there. And then what I do, I just wrap my fingers very gently around this uninflated section here. So I'm not gripping it tightly, I'm just very gently holding it. And then at the same time as I hold it, I press down onto the air in this bubble, and I'll show you what happens. It's like a little bit of magic. Okay, so the air moves from that section here to the end, and you can now let go. And that's how to make a poodle tail. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Make sure you give the video a thumbs up and remember to subscribe to my channel so you're not going to miss my next tutorial for beginners. And I'll see you again in the next lesson.